What I'm curious about in this video is what actually happened between Katy and Orlando. And new reports from sources close, again, take this as you will, these are sources coming in. I can't confirm any of this, but I'm curious what you guys think.
Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom's breakup, after nearly a decade of being one of Hollywood's most admired couples, sent shockwaves through fans and the entertainment world alike. Yet, those close to the pair have revealed that the cracks in their relationship didn't appear overnight. Rather, they had been slowly forming beneath the surface for quite some time. Over the course of the past year, those closest to Katy observed a significant and unsettling shift in her demeanor and behavior. Once confident and composed, Katy began exhibiting signs of strain and frustration that grew more pronounced with each passing month. Meanwhile, Orlando's patience, once seemingly endless, started wearing thin as he found himself increasingly at odds with her choices and public persona. This gradual unraveling became impossible to ignore as Katy increasingly found herself at the center of online scrutiny and ridicule. What was once playful teasing among fans and commentators soon snowballed into widespread mockery, fueled by a series of high-profile missteps that magnified the strain on their already fragile relationship.
This was in the middle of a fight, and it hurt her feelings. Of course she was hurt. The source continued, imagine going to space, mother effing space, and your partner isn't impressed. She hoped he'd be more supportive. So that's why she did it? She went to space to try to get Orlando more interested in her again?
The couple, who had once embodied the picture of Hollywood glamour mixed with wholesome domesticity, began to look more like two individuals drifting apart in very public ways. Their love story had all the elements of a modern fairy tale. They first crossed paths at a Golden Globes after-party in 2016, where their instant chemistry sparked a whirlwind romance that captivated the media and fans alike. By 2019, Orlando had proposed with a dazzling, flower-shaped engagement ring, a symbol of their commitment that many celebrated as a union of two of the industry's brightest stars. The arrival of their daughter, Daisy Dove, in 2020 seemed to cement their bond further, with both embracing parenthood and publicly sharing glimpses of their family life. To the outside world, they were the perfect blend of stardom and stability, a Hollywood power couple who managed to balance the demands of fame with a genuine family connection. However, beneath the surface, the relentless pressures of their high-profile careers began to chip away at their unity. Katy, once riding a wave of musical success, faced a significant professional setback when her album 143 failed to meet expectations. Critics were harsh, describing the work as uninspired and lacking the spark that had once defined her sound. This commercial and critical disappointment struck at Katy's core, not only challenging her artistic identity, but also fueling the public narrative of a pop star struggling to maintain relevance.
Why did Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom break up after 9 years? Well, new reports are alleging it's because Orlando kept warning her about her cringeworthy space flights and desperate attempts at promoting her new album, including invading Orlando's privacy.
Complicating matters further was her controversial decision to collaborate again with Dr. Luke, a producer shrouded in scandal and allegations that had previously divided fans and industry insiders. This choice alienated segments of her audience and intensified backlash, making the album's release a lightning rod for debate and criticism. Amidst this turmoil, Orlando reportedly attempted to steer Katy away from projects and publicity stunts that he saw as detrimental. Friends close to the couple say he expressed concern over the album's direction and was particularly wary of Katy's increasingly audacious efforts to capture public attention. Chief among these was her much-publicized 11-minute space trip in 2024, a bold, headline-grabbing stunt intended to position her as a cultural trailblazer. But instead of earning admiration, the space journey backfired spectacularly, becoming the subject of widespread mockery and viral memes. Rather than serving as a triumphant milestone, it underscored a growing disconnect between Katy's vision and public perception. Orlando, who had once been Katy's staunchest supporter, did not shy away from expressing his true feelings about the stunt. Reports indicate that during private moments, he described the space trip as cringeworthy and embarrassing, remarks that cut deeply given Katy's hopes that the gesture would rejuvenate not only her career but also their relationship. This blunt critique marked a turning point, where instead of rallying behind each other, the couple found themselves divided by unmet expectations and harsh realities.
Katy!
Katy, already battling the sting of public criticism and professional disappointment, felt devastated and isolated, confronting the painful realization that even her boldest efforts might not be enough to bridge the widening gap between them. As Katy Perry grappled with mounting public backlash and the crushing weight of her own personal doubts, her coping mechanisms began to take a toll on her relationship with Orlando Bloom. Insiders reveal that Katy increasingly leaned on their partnership as a strategic promotional platform, orchestrating carefully curated moments designed to capture media attention and reframe the narrative surrounding her career and personal life. From staged red carpet displays filled with overt PDA to meticulously crafted Instagram posts showcasing seemingly tender, candid family snapshots, Katy's efforts to project an image of unity and happiness were both prolific and highly calculated. However, behind the scenes, this relentless spotlight on their relationship reportedly frustrated Orlando to no end. Known for his grounded, private nature, Orlando reportedly found the constant public exposure invasive and exhausting. Sources say he valued discretion and authenticity, often retreating from the public eye to preserve what little normalcy he could within their tumultuous lives. While Katy was entangled in the complexities of maintaining her celebrity persona amid a storm of criticism and career uncertainty,
apparently he was constantly trying to warn her. And not only that about her bad moves, but also how she was using him, Orlando, to try to make this album a hit, which it never was.
Orlando charted a markedly different course. He redirected his focus and energy into physically demanding and adrenaline-fueled pursuits, seeking solace and a sense of liberation through extreme sports. His 2024 docuseries, To the Edge, captured him engaging in breathtaking feats such as skydiving from dizzying heights and free climbing some of the world's most treacherous cliffs without ropes. The series not only highlighted Orlando's fearlessness and drive to push his limits, but also symbolized a deeper emotional escape. The stark contrast between Katy's battle with fame's relentless pressures and Orlando's pursuit of simplicity and freedom illuminated the emotional chasm growing between them. This divergence extended far beyond hobbies. It became a metaphor for their increasingly incompatible paths. While Katy wrestled with the need to reinvent herself amid fading public favor and the unforgiving glare of social media, Orlando sought to reclaim his sense of self through experiences that reconnected him with raw, unfiltered life away from Hollywood's glare. Friends and insiders note that this widening divide bred tension and misunderstanding, as each partner struggled to relate to the other's evolving priorities and coping mechanisms. The inevitable breaking point came in June 2025, when after months of private struggles and mounting distance, Katy and Orlando officially announced their split. The separation, though privately decided, unfolded with stark public visibility.
Well, it sucks when couples break up, especially after so much time, but it happens and we move on. But a lot of people speculating as to why. And I really could care less about who showed up to the wedding. She was on tour, it's why she didn't show up to the wedding.
The emotional fallout was particularly evident at high-profile social events, most notably at the extravagant wedding of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, a lavish affair that resembled a modern-day royal gala. Orlando attended the event solo, a choice that did not go unnoticed. For many observers, his solo appearance was a public declaration of their fractured bond and underscored the emotional and physical distance that had come to define their relationship's final chapter. Katy, meanwhile, was tied up with her demanding tour in Australia, an endeavor that became both a professional challenge and a personal refuge. Determined to shield their young daughter, Daisy Dove, from the chaos swirling around their breakup, Katy attempted to maintain a semblance of normalcy and stability amid the upheaval. Meanwhile, Orlando seemed to embrace his newly single status with a noticeable shift in demeanor. Paparazzi photos captured him strolling confidently through Venice's picturesque streets, and social media buzzed with rumors of potential new connections, including fleeting speculations about encounters with stars like Sydney Sweeney, though many of these stories amounted to little more than coincidences. Orlando's public persona morphed into that of a bachelor rediscovering freedom, fueling both fan intrigue and tabloid frenzy. The juxtaposition of Katy's struggle to hold together her career and family life with Orlando's visible embrace of independence became a defining image of their post-split lives.
It imploded after Singer made embarrassing journey into space. The couple's now sparring over who will attend the wedding of Jeff and Lauren. They were already on the rocks when Perry made the widely derided 11-minute space trip, which became a PR disaster. Perry in particular became the internet's punching bag for it, obviously, as we all saw.
Their once shared narrative of love and partnership transformed into a cautionary tale about the difficulties of sustaining a relationship under the relentless pressure of fame, public scrutiny, and personal reinvention. Through it all, the media and public remained captivated, dissecting every move, every interaction, and every silence, as Katy and Orlando navigated the painful and highly public dissolution of what had once seemed an unbreakable Hollywood romance. Fans remain deeply divided in their reactions to the breakup of Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom, a split that has stirred passionate debate across social media platforms, fan forums, and entertainment news outlets worldwide. On one side of the spectrum, a significant portion of Katy's fanbase points fingers at her relentless pursuit of attention, citing a series of risky and highly publicized decisions that many believe exacerbated both her professional and personal struggles. These fans argue that Katy's attempts to reclaim the spotlight, whether through ambitious but critically panned albums like 143, controversial collaborations with producers like Dr. Luke, or high-profile stunts such as the ill-fated space trip, reflect a desperate need to prove herself in a rapidly changing music landscape. They see these moves as contributing factors that strained the relationship and drained her emotionally, ultimately accelerating the couple's downfall. Conversely, another vocal faction of fans and commentators placed the blame squarely on Orlando Bloom, criticizing him for what they perceive as emotional abandonment during Katy's most vulnerable and challenging moments.
Apparently, she received little to no support from Bloom, who blasted the embarrassing debacle during Explosive Row. He told her the whole thing looked ridiculous. I mean, if that's true, bravo. Source close to Perry's camp told a Daily Mail.
To these observers, Orlando's focus on adrenaline-fueled escapades and apparent retreat from public support seemed to signal a withdrawal from his role as a partner when Katy needed him most. His visible embrace of single life, highlighted by solo appearances at high-profile events like Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding and rumored new connections, has fueled speculation that Orlando prioritized personal freedom over standing by Katy amid her career and personal crises. This camp views Orlando's behavior as a failure to provide the steadying presence required to weather the storm, thus contributing to the relationship's demise. The couple's very public and often painful saga has come to epitomize the darker side of celebrity culture in the digital age, how the intense spotlight of social media and 24/7 entertainment news magnifies private struggles into global spectacles for millions to scrutinize. Every misstep, every emotional breakdown, and every strategic move is dissected, analyzed, and debated in real time, leaving little room for privacy or healing. The relentless online commentary often amplifies insecurities and fuels narratives that can overwhelm even the most resilient personalities. Katy Perry's star, once blazing bright with a series of chart-topping hits and a seemingly unshakable public image, has undeniably dimmed under the heavy burden of critical reviews, emotional exhaustion, and the unforgiving glare of public scrutiny. Industry insiders reveal that the combination of professional setbacks, like the disappointing reception of 143, and personal upheaval has taken a significant toll on her mental health and self-confidence. Yet, despite these challenges, many close to Katy remain cautiously optimistic.
Lauren Sanchez has actually commented and said, "We miss you," and apparently Katy's close to them, but Orlando took it as an opportunity to, single it up, and we'll talk about that in a second.
They point to her proven talent, past comebacks, and unyielding work ethic as key factors that could fuel a resurgence. They believe that, given time and the right opportunities, Katy possesses the resilience necessary to reclaim her place in the music world and rebuild her personal life on more stable ground. Meanwhile, Orlando Bloom appears to have charted a distinctly different path in the aftermath of their split. Rather than engaging with the ongoing media circus, he has seemingly embraced a life oriented around adventure, physical challenges, and carving out a degree of separation from the relentless drama surrounding their relationship. His public persona has shifted toward one of a free spirit seeking authenticity and new horizons, symbolized by his daring exploits in his docuseries To the Edge and his conspicuous single status. For Orlando, This period represents both a personal rebirth and a means of coping with the emotional fallout, allowing him to regain control over his narrative and identity outside the shadow of a high-profile romance. Together, Katy and Orlando's story serves as a stark, sobering reminder of the immense costs that fame exacts, not only on careers but on the fragile bonds of love and partnership. It underscores how the pressures of maintaining public personas, navigating social media scrutiny, and juggling competing ambitions can fracture even the strongest relationships. Their breakup is more than just tabloid fodder. It is a cautionary tale about the vulnerability of human connection under an unyielding spotlight where every moment is amplified and every flaw magnified. As their lives continue to unfold before an ever-watchful global audience, the saga shows no signs of fading into the background. Instead, it remains a vivid narrative of ambition, heartbreak, survival, and the quest for authenticity in an age where privacy is scarce and personal struggles become collective spectacles. For millions, it is a story that resonates deeply, serving both as entertainment and a poignant reflection on the complexities of love and fame in the 21st century.